Okay, so get this. We're diving into AI and how it can help students be better speakers.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so, Chris Wright, the educator, we got this conversation between him and an AI chatbot.
Hmm. I don't know. I've heard of him.
Well, he's been experimenting with using AI to analyze student speeches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and get this, it can even help create podcasts from student work.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So Chris's idea is that students would record their speeches and then use AI transcription tools
Like what?
like, transcribe.ai rev.com
Okay, yeah.
to get a written version so they can analyze it.
Oh, so they can see what they're actually saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's so valuable for self-reflection and growth.
Right. It's like athletes watching game footage.
Totally. And
Or,
Chris even suggests showing the transcription process live, like in class.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so students can see how accurate it can be, but also where it might, mess up.
Yeah, like with tricky words or accents.
Exactly. It's all about making the technology transparent.
I like that.
And he also suggests having students play the recording and the transcript side by side.
So they can like follow along.
Yeah, it's super helpful for seeing areas for improvement.
Oh, I bet. So what happens next?
Well, once they have the transcript, Chris wants to use generative AI.
Ooh, like Copilot or ChatGPT?
You got it.
Yeah.
And it's not just for correcting errors, it can actually improve the content.
So like make it clearer, more
This-
structured.
Exactly. Maybe even elevate the language they're using.
Wow.
Chris plans to have the AI revisions read aloud, so students can hear the before and after.
That would be amazing. To hear your speech transform like that?
Yeah, and now get ready for the mind-blowing part.
Okay, I'm ready.
He wants to use Google's NotebookLM to turn these speeches into podcasts.
Podcasts. Seriously.
Yep, he's noticed it can actually bump up the language level.
Huh. That's interesting. Like how much?
Like a speech at a B1 level could become a B2 level podcast.
Whoa, that's wild. Why do you think that happens?
I don't know. It's fascinating, right? Like it's a whole new medium for their work.
Yeah, true students get to experience it in a different way.
Totally. And then he has this other idea.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, he wants students to download the podcast and then run it through speech to text again.
Wait, so transcribe it again. Why?
So they can listen and read at the same time, and they can slow down the playback.
Oh, I see. Because podcasts can be pretty fast.
Yeah, exactly. And then get this.
What? Another idea.
He decided to split this all into two presentations.
Two. Wow, there's a lot to cover.
Right. And he's worried that new AI stuff will pop up before his May presentation.
Yeah, I bet this field is changing so fast.
Exactly.
So what do you think about all this?
I'm really impressed by Chris's focus on empowering students.
Totally. He's not just grading them, he's giving them the tools to become better communicators.
It's really inspiring.
Yeah, he's not afraid to experiment with new technology and push the boundaries.
I like that.
So it's pretty amazing how AI can help students become better communicators, right?
Yeah, this is definitely a game changer. Totally. So let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and unpack those two presentations in more detail.
Sounds good. I'm ready to dive deeper.
Me too.
Yeah, it's like he's giving them this personalized feedback,
Right. And that's why splitting it into two presentations is so smart.
Totally. Especially with AI changing so fast. Like he was saying he's worried about new stuff coming out before May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, presentation number 1.
AI for speech analysis and improvement.
Right. Where should he focus?
Well, obviously starting with the transcription tools.
Makes sense.
But I think he should really emphasize the analysis part. Like, how can students use those transcripts to actually find patterns in their speech?
Oh, yeah. Like, are they using too many filler words?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or is their sentence structure way too complicated?
It's like turning the transcript into a roadmap for improvement.
Totally. You can see where you need to make changes.
And those live demonstrations would be perfect for that.
Right. Showing them how to compare the recording and the transcript and all that.
It's about giving them the power to shape their communication.
Exactly. But it's not just about fixing errors, is it?
No, it's also about using the AI to make their speeches better. Like elevate the language.
And that's where generative AI comes in.
Right. Copilot ChatGPT.
Imagine showing students how to use those tools to like rephrase sentences or even make their arguments stronger.
That's where hearing the before and after would be so impactful.
Totally. It would let them hear the difference between their original speech and a more polished one.
And it also brings up an interesting point about style and voice.
Oh, yeah. Like how much should they rely on the AI's suggestions?
Exactly. How do they balance being clear with being creative?
Those are good questions for that second presentation.
Right. The one about transforming speeches into podcasts.
It's like taking their work to a whole new level.
I bet it would make some students more engaged, too.
Definitely. Like maybe someone's nervous about public speaking, but then they love podcasting.
Yeah, maybe they add music or sound effects or something.
It'd bring out different skills, you know?
Totally. And what about that language boost he talked about?
Turning a B1 speech into a B2 podcast. Yeah, that's wild.
It makes you wonder why that happens.
Wow. Is it the AI rephrasing things or the podcast format itself?
Maybe it's because podcasts often have more complex topics.
That's true. Or maybe it's the conversational style.
It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's that extra credit idea.
Running the podcast through speech to text again.
It seems weird at first, but it's actually really smart.
It lets them listen and read at the same time.
And they can slow down the playback speed too.
Which is helpful because podcasts can be pretty fast.
It's like having a personal language tutor.
Totally. Chris has created this amazing feedback loop.
Students are analyzing, transforming, creating.
They're developing all these valuable skills.
Critical thinking, creativity, tech skills.
It's really impressive how he's using AI to enhance learning.
It all comes down to the human element though, right?
Absolutely. Chris's passion for teaching is what makes this so amazing.
He's not afraid to try new things and create a supportive learning environment.
So yeah, technology can be a powerful tool, but it needs the right person using it.
Exactly. So let's step back for a second and look at the bigger picture here.
It's cool how Chris is using this with students, but I'm thinking, where else could this be useful?
Yeah, it really makes you think outside the classroom, right?
Like we talked about speeches, but what about sales calls or negotiations?
Oh, totally. Even just everyday conversations, you know, where you really need to be clear.
Imagine like analyzing your tone during a job interview.
That would be so helpful.
You could see those moments where you get nervous or your message isn't clear.
It's funny because we always think of AI as replacing us or judging us.
Right.
But this is totally different. It's AI helping us improve ourselves.
It's like a personal coach that never gets tired of listening to you.
Exactly. And it's not about being perfect or robotic or anything.
No, it's about understanding how you communicate and getting better at it.
But it does make you wonder about the future of public speaking.
In what way?
Like, if we rely too much on AI, will we lose the art of it?
That's a good question. But maybe it could actually make us appreciate it more.
How so?
When you analyze your speech, you become more aware of the power of language.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like studying how an engine works.
You start with the basics, but then you see how it all comes together.
Exactly. So maybe AI won't replace human speakers.
Maybe it'll just make us better at it.
Right. More aware of our voices and how they affect people.
That's a really cool way to think about it.
And it all comes back to Chris and his passion for teaching.
Yeah, he's not just teaching them how to speak, he's teaching them how to connect with people.
And that's really what it's all about, right? Communication is about connection.
Absolutely. So what do you think our listeners should take away from all this?
I think the biggest thing is to be open to trying new things.
Like what?
Like record yourself giving a presentation and analyze it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or try out one of those AI tools and see what it suggests.
And who knows, maybe you'll even be inspired to start a podcast.
That would be awesome.
The possibilities are endless, really.
So yeah, stay curious and keep experimenting with new ways to communicate.
That's what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI and communication.
It was a great conversation.
We'll see you next time.